This story comes from Japan. This story is a story that perhaps you have heard, perhaps you know a version of it, perhaps you have heard it in the cries of cranes in summer evenings when the fog has already lifted over the fields. It's the story of a crane wife. There lived a young, honest man in the countryside of Japan. One day, while he was working in the fields, Crane suddenly came flapping her wings out of the sky. It was a white crane, with the most beautiful feathers that the man had seen. The bird was apparently wounded and did not fly away, but came towards the man and immediately fell to the ground. Man checked the crane's feathers and found an arrow stuck in the base of the wing. Poor crane, that's why you couldn't fly. Man pulled the arrow out and washed the wound clean. The crane soon recovered and showed its delight by flapping its wings. Now the man said to the bird, "Be careful never to be stabbed by a hunter again." The crane circled over his head 3 times as if to express its thanks, and then disappeared high into the sky after uttering a shrill cry. The young man resumed his work, being deeply content with helping the crane. In the nightfall, when the stars were already above his head, he returned to the house, and to a great surprise, he found there a beautiful woman waiting that he never had seen before. She greeted him saying, "Thank you for your day's hard work." Startled, he wondered if he even entered the right house. But the woman said, "It is your house, and I'm your bride." "I don't believe it," the man shouted. "I'm so poor, and I could never provide for both of us. And I only have enough rice to feed one person." "Don't worry," said the woman. "I have rice." She took rice out of a small bag and started to make supper. The man finally agreed, thinking, "How strange, there's a woman forcing to marry me." But thus they started living together. Oddly enough, in the small bag that the woman brought, there was always the right amount of rice, and they led a happy life. One day, his wife asked the husband to set up a workshop for weaving. He borrowed money and made a room for her. The woman entered the room saying, "Please, let me work for 7 days, and do not come inside." And exactly for 7 days, night and day, there was the sound of loom, day in and day out. The man felt like he's waiting for 1 year, 2 years. For him, the time was dragging. But he honored her request and waited these 7 days. When the 7 days passed, the woman came out, somewhat haggard, holding in her hands a roll of beautiful cloth. Such a cloth that the man had never seen before, so beautiful. She said to him, "I have woven this roll of cloth. Please take it to the town's market and sell it for the biggest price that is being offered." The next day, the man went to the market and did exactly as the woman asked, and the cloth got sold by extremely high price. Startled and delighted, he hurried home. Upon reaching home, he already noticed that his wife is closeted back in the room weaving. He wondered how could she have woven such a beautiful cloth without any thread. Soon he could no longer contain his curiosity, and he peeked into the workshop, breaking his promise never to do so. To his great surprise, he did not find his wife. Only a crane was at the loom, weaving, the white feathers plucked from one of the wings, providing as the thread. The crane stopped weaving and noticed the man, staggered towards him, and said, "My dear husband, you have seen everything. Now that you have found out who I really am, I cannot stay here. To my great regret, I'm the crane who was saved by you. To repay your kindness, I served you in the shape of a woman, but from now on, regard this half-finished cloth as myself and keep it dear." And the crane turned towards the skies and lifted off. With her wings not being fully covered by feathers, she flew off. Singing the last song that she could as an offering to the man, and disappeared, never to be seen again.